Hi guys, this is Jackie from techjackie.com. Welcome to the video on SEO. First of all, if you're brand to this channel, make sure to press the subscribe button so when I release a new SEO video like this, you get notified. In today's SEO video, I'd like to go through a case study for a real estate website. So it's a real estate SEO case studies right here. I'll leave a link to this case study in the description below so you can go and read it out if you want to. But essentially I've been working on this website for the past 6 months, and as you can see here, this is the search console. It's a live data, no screenshots or anything. As you can see, we started off right around here in April at just about 9 clicks per day, and then we are now growing up consistently, surviving pretty much the March core update and the August core update, and a lot of turbulence during the September. And as you can see, we're growing every single day, and this is the current traffic. I mean the overall in the past 6 months, right? So in this video I'll give you the background, what I did in an overview, and how you can essentially maybe use this for your real estate website, or any type of other similar type of website. So without further ado, let's get started. Just to give you a little bit of background, this client operates in a niche real estate market. Means it's not the general buying selling type of real estate properties, but he essentially rents out pool villas, right? So he's more like a dealer where he has a contact with a lot of the pool villas, right? So all these housed by the pools in the city. In my city is Pattaya, Thailand, and essentially Pattaya is famous for beaches and all around that, right? So people come to to the city every year, like millions of tourists comes every year for holidays, even for the locals traveling from, let's say, other cities like Bangkok and all, comes to Pattaya during the holidays, just to to kind of chill out, and they usually rent out these type of villas. So it's quite a booming business, quite a competitive business as well. It's a real estate per se, but as you can see, it's not a typical buying selling of all type of properties, but only pool villas renting here. So just like any other real estate market, the challenge is quite a competitive niche with lots of profits and money for sure. Google Ads is quite expensive, and there are many big players who have been dominating the Google search for many years, and there are some independent websites. So just like my clients, where he's an independent realtor, and there are also some big real estate directories dominating the market as well, right? And another challenge that we face here is this is a new website. As you can see, we start with a complete flat line of clicks and impression here, and then we had to grow the website up. So it's a completely new website, and essentially the client approached me when after he just finished building the website. So after his developer completed the website for a few weeks, he then approached me, and as you can see, we didn't really get into sandbox per se, because the website quickly got indexed, and he started ranking a little bit initially already, but then I once I start working, when we start growing, right? So here's the overview of what I did for the campaign. So first, technically, to optimize for the technical SEO. So the problem that I faced initially was the developers who built the website for the client didn't really take care of all the technical SEOs. So even though the site was built using WordPress, there was a lot of bad structures and setup and other problems, such as poor page speed, a lot of code bloat, bad design structures that are kind of confusing, improperly usage of heading tags and all that. So these were the first things that we fixed for the website. So just to give you a kind of like the overview structure. So like this is the home page, right? So the home page of the website targets about the brand, right? Talks about the business, who the client is, etc., etc. And then we had a bunch of categories created, right? So these are like categories that were kind of created based on keyword research. So I kind of jump up a little bit too far here, but this is actually part of OnPage, is to do a keyword research and page creations. So we created a bunch of pages here targeting different keywords that people are searching for. So it could be like, you know, the numbers of people who can rent out, like pool villas, they have different sizes, right? So there are houses that can only be, you know, that only 4 people can stay. Some houses maybe 8 people can stay per night. Some houses can go up to like 20 people per night, something like that. So we created a bunch of these pages. So there will be a category listing type of page for, like, let's say 10 people pool villas, 12 people pool villas, 20 people pool villas, and all that. So we create a bunch of these listings, and then inside of these listings we have, you know, the villas, right, the houses displayed there with the prices and information that they can click on. You can think of it like a e-commerce, right, e-commerce website where you have categories and product listings. It's essentially the same way. So we created we did a bunch of keyword research, and then, you know, figure out what people are searching for, create categories for all of that. Some of them might even have subcategories, depends. There are also like types of pool villas, right? So different types, like near the beach, far from the beach. So we also created all those. So these were the things that, you know, I did initially, and also coupled with things like speed optimizations, removing a lot of, you know, technical errors and all of that. So these were some of the first few things that we did, right? So optimize the technical aspects, did the keyword research, create the pages. We didn't have a blog initially, so the blogs weren't added because, you know, we just want to focus on the money pages. So after that, once we have the structure set up, we fix everything. Next is to start with the optimization. So have things like heading tags optimization, making sure all the headings are in proper structure. So like on the top of every page, we have the H1, then we have a bunch of H2s here. If it's the category or the category of the listing, we optimize the headings, we optimize just a few first couple of paragraphs, and then we display the listing here, right? So just to give you an idea, let's say this is the category of one of the categories. So on the top we have the headings, the H1, and then we have a bunch of, you know, content here, not a lot, a few, and then we have a lot of listing here, right? So these are the listings displayed here. So this is the categories. Let's say for the pool villas page, so we have a template created. So the first is the name of the pool villas, again using H1, a bunch of banners and images, and then we have like a pool villa descriptions, and then, you know, some boxes here for the contact information and all that. So this is the first thing, like heading tag optimization. Then we move on to the sentence level optimizations. For every sentence that we write in the content here, we also make sure to optimize each and every sentence to make sure it's fully optimized, you know, with all the relevant words and all that. So here I have my own tool that I created to kind of help, you know, find all the semantic relevant keywords that have, you know, high score and all that. You can use tools like Surfer SEO, Phrase.io, and all of that are available, but we're not really the same, but it still can be used. Next, we also look at the keyword count and variation optimization. So it's not going to be a lot optimization here on the category listing, but we also make sure, like, you know, let's say on the property or on the pool villa page itself, the descriptions are, you know, the keywords, the count, the number of times we use different words on the page. We also analyze that. You can use tools like Surfer SEO and all that to do it. I usually do a manual process on this. There's really no hard and fast rule for this, like there's no rigid rules, but just try to keep it average of the competition, right? So like, for example, we have the word like villas there, or word house there on the page, so we make sure we optimize that. Now the thing here is these individual houses or villas they're not going to rank by themselves. Like mostly the traffic are going to go to the category pages, right? Because people are searching for, let's say, 20 people pool villas, so they're gonna, our categories will rank for that, right? This, let's say, ranking for 20 people houses, something like that. However, there are some of these houses or villas that people, just search for their names directly, right? So we make sure that, obviously there will be other competitors who try to rank for the same keyword. So we need to make sure that we also fully optimize a lot of these individual listing ourselves, not just, neglect them, because like I said, a lot of people we also search directly for the name of specific house name, because there will be some of these houses that are very famous in the city and that people are seeking for them directly, right? So that's the reason why this is a little bit of different. I mean, compared to e-commerce, a lot of the products aren't going to be really optimized, because like 97% of the traffic will go to the category page of e-commerce. Whereas for this business, I would say about 70% goes to the categories and 30% goes to these individual listing, right? So that's why it's a little bit different, but it's the same concept here. Next, we also look at the design refinement connection. So essentially every section on the page we crafted out in a way that, they are logically connected with each other. So every section we put a H2s on that, and then we explain on it. We don't put any unnecessary stuff on the page, like the animations, the sections that are not required, all the things that actually make the website beautiful, but is actually makes it more difficult for Googlebot to understand the connection between each section to another section, right? So this is also what we take care of. And lastly is obviously internal linking. So the website is more like a listing type, so there are going to be a lot of internal links. Obviously the categories are going to link to individual listing on themselves, but on the listing page itself, sometimes we also link to other related listing, right? Just to kind of improve the user experience, right? So let's say if someone land on this page, on this house, they can also, click and view other related listings. So, they might find a better options, but we try to keep them engaged on the page. That's as much as we can, but also to help, flow around this link power, internal link power throughout the website, right? And later on, very much later on down the line, we added a few blogs, not a lot, but a few articles, let's say about the city itself and all that. We also link to some of these listings from the blog as well using internal link. So that's also what we did as well. So this quick overview of the on page. Once we're done with the on page, we also moved on to the off page. Now with the off page, there are only two things which I did. First, I advised or I recommended the client to start building the brand, right? So I've been a huge I've been a huge fan of brand building to help SEO, right? Because I've done this a lot in the past. You can check out all of my previous case studies. All the successful ones are actually doing some branding on the side. So I recommended clients, doing some Google ads or maybe Facebook ads, right? So this will also help give the initial engagement signal to the website, which actually help it get out of sandbox very quickly. And because of Google ads and because of this branding campaign that the client was doing, it quickly helped the website, rank, and the ranking just kept on going after we start with the branding. Once we reach certain point, I also start with some backlink campaigns. We didn't build a lot of links. We only focus on a couple of high quality PBNs and very few guest posts here and there to kind of support the branding efforts. And then, after we did a little bit of off page, the site again exploded even more, right? So that's pretty much it. Nothing complicated. It's not a complicated website, as you can see. We just make sure the technical was right, the structure was well crafted, did all keyword research, created a bunch of these pages. Not a lot of things to do on the on page, not a lot of content to write about, because it's a listing type of website. But again, we try to do as much as we can in the content side of things, the sentence level optimization, the keyword count, and headings and all that. And then once we did all of this, the site just started taking off. Then the client started with the branding, the Google ads, the social media campaigns a little bit. That kicked off the website even further. And then lastly we start building some links, not a lot of links, just a few links here and there, just to kind of push it even further, right? And as you can see, here's a result after 6 months. The website's been growing. The screenshots here is a little bit different because I wrote this case studies a couple of days ago before I shoot this video here. So you're seeing this is the live, this is the updated versions just 2 hours ago on Search Console. So you can see the clicks are going up a little bit more than here, but you can see it's the same graph, right? So that's pretty much it. Obviously there's more little bit here and there details in between, that is going to be too much to share in this video. And it's also something, there are some things here and there that I cannot share, but you already get the bigger picture here, right? Like the bigger picture responsible for at least 70 to 75% of what we did. If you just follow all of this, and making sure that you do proper on page, you do some branding, you build a little bit of links, you definitely dominate any business, right? And that's all for it. If you have any questions, let me know in the comment section down below and try to answer them as soon as possible. And if you're looking for either SEO service or SEO coaching programs, you can always reach out. A lot of these, pretty much every tactics that I do as a service, I also teach you in the coaching program as well. So what I do is essentially what I teach, and what I teach is essentially what I do. Or if you don't have time to do SEO yourself, you can just hire me for a monthly SEO service. And yeah, that's pretty much it. If you have any questions, feel free to leave them in the comment section down below. Thank you for watching. See you in the next video.